for today.
I'm just hoping that my voice is loud enough for everybody to hear. I hate speaking with a mic. My name is Lebohang Mokoena, Lebo for short, because I know my name is a bit difficult for most people to pronounce. So it's Lebo Mokoena. I'm the consul responsible for trade and investments at the South African Consulate General in New York. The Consul General Munyamangena, wanted to be with us today, but however, he has been called to a Heads of Mission conference in South Africa, and I'm here representing our consulate. We are here today just to, have our presence here so that we can inform you about the opportunities that exist in South Africa, and also see what we can develop in terms of the relations that we form with you, and finding collaborative avenues that we can explore in the future. We have our colleagues from South Africa, from the Industrial Development Corporation, that is responsible for identifying projects as well as funding projects in the renewable as well as the infrastructure sector. So basically what we do as the South African Consulate is we are responsible for political bilateral relations as well as commercial relations between South Africa and the USA. We focus most of our efforts in terms of trying and identifying market opportunities for South African products into the US, as well as also identifying opportunities and possible investors that want to invest in South Africa. So we are more or less responsible for export promotion and the promotion of foreign direct investment into South Africa. While they're still trying to set up, we have a very short presentation that we want to show you. One of the things that we have discovered as the South African government and as the consulate is that although South Africa is one of the emerging economies, a lot of people do not know the opportunities that exist in South Africa. There's still a lot of information that is still, I wouldn't say not known, but a lot of information that is false because of some of the media coverage that a lot of people are exposed to. So what we try to do is, with this video that we have that we're going to show you, is try to dispel some of those myths about South Africa. Because yes, we are an emerging economy. Our country is actually doing well in terms of other African countries. And people have argued, are we a gateway, are we not a gateway? What we are saying is we wouldn't exactly say to you that we are a gateway or not. What you are saying to you is we as South Africa cannot develop if the rest of Africa do not develop. So when you invest in South Africa, you're not only investing in South Africa, but you're investing in Africa as a whole. And currently there are also negotiations that are taking place between Southern Africa and East Africa in terms of a free tripartite alliance, which is going to be a free trade area between the 3 different regions that will give you in excess a market of around 600 million people. So our development is linked to the development of the rest of the African continent. And some of the information that we will hear today will be surprising to most people because our economy is very diverse. We have the financial services, we have manufacturing, we have mining, we have all of these sectors. But today what I want to do is just capture your attention and let you focus on some of the issues that you might not know about the beautiful country that I serve, and that is South Africa.
You can hear me, but thank you, Lord, for the opportunity to be here. And I'd like to welcome all of our guests here to Charlotte on this beautiful day. If you've never been to Charlotte before, the weather is like this every day. But this is a great opportunity, and very glad for the Charlotte Regional Partnership to be involved in an initiative that I think would help bring closer ties to South Africa, and especially in the energy sector that is very important to us, and one that we're really positioning ourselves, the Charlotte region, as being the energy capital of the United States, and we want to broaden that. And you'll hear a lot more about that initiative from my colleague Scott Kahlberg, who's become the energy man here in the Charlotte region, and he's our point person for those activities, the continued growth, the development, and the collaboration, both domestically and internationally, collaborations that have taken place in that particular sector. Well, you're sitting in one of the fastest growing regions in this country. We're adding close to 100,000 new citizens to the Charlotte region annually. the 19th largest metropolitan area in the U.S., 2.7 million people, workforce of about 1.4 million. One of the most dynamic regions in this country. With this country now coming out of one of the most dramatic economic downturns in our history, it is the energy sector that carried Charlotte through this recession. And so it's very important to us, and it's very important that we continue and work to build and grow that particular sector. But we're a lot more than just energy. We're known as a financial center. We are the second largest financial center in the United States, behind New York. Anyone know the third largest financial center?
San Francisco.
San Francisco. We're light years ahead of San Francisco and light years behind New York. So we're just in a comfortable second place. And we can live with that. But in that regard, we have a very strong base of financial industry companies continuing to grow that particular base. We have over 60,000 people in Charlotte who work in the financial services sector. We actually have more financial services jobs now than we had in Charlotte prior to the financial meltdown about 3.5 years ago. So we want to continue to work and develop that particular sector. When you look at the aerospace and defense contracting sector, this is one that we're growing substantially. Over 180 companies in the Charlotte region involved in some aspect of defense contracting. As it relates to aerospace companies, when you look at anchors such as BAE Systems and Turbomeca, a French company, BAE being a British company, General Dynamics and others, we have more aerospace companies in this region than anywhere throughout the two Carolinas here in the southeastern portion of the United States. We will continue to work in that space. When you think about healthcare here, now we're home to two of the largest healthcare service providers in the country, Carolinas Medical as well as Presbyterian Novant. But we look at healthcare not from the service provider side, but from the research and development and manufacturing side. Biotechnology, nutritional science, medical device manufacturing, and other life sciences disciplines. We have more medical device manufacturers in the Charlotte region than anywhere throughout the two states, North and South Carolina. When you look at the activity that's taking place at the North Carolina Research Campus, a location not far from here, this spot here in Cabarrus County, projected 35,000 jobs, over $1 billion in capital investment, and really transitioning the state of North Carolina into a nationally known center for the research and development activities that take place in the area of life sciences and nutritional science, as well as biotechnology. Strong private sector investment with David Murdoch, CEO of Dole Foods, investing a substantial amount of private sector money and bringing together an unprecedented collaboration of every major university in North Carolina in an effort to make this project a success. Probably in my almost 30 years in this business, one of the most exciting economic development projects I've had an opportunity to be involved in. There are two more areas that really put this region on the map. One is going to be film. And when I say film, motion picture, television series, commercials, photo shoots. We've become a mecca for film activity, doing over $500 million a year in film-related activity. Reality shows seem to really like it in the Charlotte region. I guess some of our guests are familiar with our reality shows. We shoot a lot of them here. For some reason, Charlotteans like seeing themselves on TV and reality shows. One of the ones we just announced a couple of weeks ago coming here is a show called Wife Swap. So if any of you interested, let me know. I can get you in it. But that is a good business for us. And as business continues to move from the West Coast throughout the country, we found ourselves to be very competitive, and the marketplace itself likes doing business in this region. And finally, the last sector, and especially in the northern part of Mecklenburg County here, is the motorsports industry. I moved here about 8 years ago, and I knew very little about motorsport. Recruited here to run our lead economic development organization and trying to understand the region and what were the drivers in our economy. And they told me motorsports was a $5 billion industry in this region. And I became a fan overnight, guys. That's serious business. And that was a study that was conducted over almost 8 years ago. And so it's probably pretty close to $6 billion now. But we have the full integration of the sport in this region. We're home to one of the premier tracks. 90% of all the teams, the NASCAR teams, are located in this region. And truly we're the home of the Hall of Fame, as well as all the operations for NASCAR. Not the quote-unquote headquarters, but the operations center is located here. So when you think about Charlotte, that's the industry mix that will carry us for the next 10 to 12 years. When you're experiencing the type of growth that we're experiencing in this region, we have to be very careful not to allow our population to outstrip our infrastructure. So we're very diligent in working to continue to build highways and invest in public transportation and understand the importance of our airport with the new intermodal facility and the role that it plays in our future business and our future growth of this region. And so we're very proud of our region, very proud to have an opportunity to begin to develop a significant relationship with companies and other organizations associated with South Africa, and look forward to seeing what comes out of this meeting. I'm very glad to hear Laura say that this is a working meeting. So assuming if you're working, we're going to produce a product. Is that right, Dave? You're manufacturing guy. Put forth the effort, there's got to be a product, right? I'm looking forward to that product. I'm looking forward to seeing how we can find ways to develop some synergies and develop some partnership. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the opportunity to allow the Charlotte Regional Partnership to be part of this session, and I look forward to working with each of you in the future.
Yeah.
It's the, well, you have to describe exactly.
I can do that.
Yes.
Good morning. I don't need a mic either. You can tell. Ronnie and I kind of come from the same school of thought on that. My name is Scott Carlberg. I'm president of E4 Carolinas, which is a two-state energy industry cluster here in the Carolinas. We are the center of the energy industry going forward. So a lot of people say energy and they think of Houston. And they are the hydrocarbon capital of the United States without question. And they're good at it. We're good at the rest. And we are where the future is. And we're going to talk about that a little bit. And I wish Ronnie were here, because the reason I'm able to stand here is because of the innovation that Ronnie showed and the collaboration that his organization showed that really were the seeds to the whole energy hub effort that we got going. A quick bit of history. In 2009, Jim Rogers, who's the chairman and chief executive officer of Duke Energy, said, I don't think we're getting enough credit for all the different energy assets that we have here. There are a lot of them, but they're kind of hidden. They're not bundled up. And he asked us to get people together to look at just what was part of our energy environment. Well, originally we thought we wouldn't need a big table to get everybody together. In 2009, we had 125 executives show up. Everybody was surprised. And then Jim did something really good. He said, I'm going to step back, community, it's up to you to decide how you're going to go forward. So the Charlotte Business Journal picked up the idea, and every April and May, we have kind of a benchmark meeting. And in 2010, we had 300 people there. In 2011, we had 400. Last year, we had 700. Our next meeting is May 9th. So please put May 9th, 2013, all day on your calendar. Go to the Business Journal's website and sign up to come to Energy Inc. That's Energy Inc. is in Energy Incorporated. We're going to have a panel of multinational CFOs and CTOs. We're going to have some product demos that are really going to surprise you. And then we're going to have workshops like how to partner with energy companies. What do funders want? We're going to have an Energy 101 for mayors across the Carolinas. And I saw Johan just come in. Where did he go? Johan's going to be a part of a group about bringing the academic engines together that do the research. And they're significant here in the Carolinas. There are many things going on. E4 Carolinas evolved because we realized it wasn't just the 16 counties in Charlotte that really made a difference. We found 200 energy companies and 20,000 people in the 16 counties doing energy work. And we realized it's more than this because there's incredible nuclear work going on in Aiken. Greenville, South Carolina has one of the largest concentrations of engineers in any city in the country. Columbia has incredible craft education and some great machine shop work and other craft work. The Triad area and the Triangle area are excellent at data management and smart grid work. It's not about one of us, it's about all of us. And it's about all of us working together that makes a difference and has brought Charlotte to where it is. Ronnie's comment is telling. We lost 22,000 jobs in the economic downturn because we were largely in banking. We added during that same time more than 5,000 energy announcements. This is when the worst of the crisis was going on. And it comes down to individual company levels too. Dave Dalton, raise your hand. Dave Dalton, during the depths of the recession, because he did good analysis, added 50,000 square feet, I think,
Yes.
and 5 to 8% to your workforce because of the way you redirected your company toward energy. Not bad. Not bad. When everybody else was looking at what was going to go wrong, energy people in Charlotte looked at what was going to go right. And we can do that because we do have the skills on the ground. And you know, one of the things Ronnie mentioned about the financial industry I think is really critical here. A lot of people will try to identify their cities with one key industry or one trick pony. And if that goes south, you really kind of put all your eggs in one basket. In Charlotte, while we had some tough times in finance that have come back very well, energy companies like to locate here because they've got an incredible base of financial expertise that they can call on. You may be looking at energy, but it's a business. You need the financial skills, you need the accounting, you need the risk analysis, and it's a one-stop shop here for that. Well, the organization that we created after working with Ronnie is called E4 Carolinas. That's E to the fourth power. And those 4 E's are energy, environment, efficiency, and economy. No energy company can really exist unless it's looking at all 4 of those. It's got to be a part of that mission, okay? Because if you're leaving one of those out, your competitors are going to eat your lunch. It's about all those things, and that's what we do in our work here. So let's take them one by one. Innovation. Innovation, so much of the time, means incubator, which is an important part of starting new businesses, but it's not innovation. Innovation is taking those new ideas, getting them out of the lab and into the marketplace, and doing it fast. That's where we need to pick up and run, I think, very well. One of the things we learned is that 85% of dormant new technology sits on big corporate shelves, ready to go. But it's not in the focus area, it's not in the sweet spot of that company. How can we get that off that corporate shelf and into the hands of Carolina's entrepreneurs? It's a challenge, but we can do it. And we've got a group of C-level people that are working just kind of beside E4 who have been through turnarounds, been through buyouts, been through startups, who can make that happen. So that's going to be one of our initiatives. Another one is working with the universities so that we get the benefit of all of us working together and complementing each other, even to the point of federal grants, because as Johan knows, if UNC Charlotte applies alone, he doesn't stand as much of a chance if it's UNC Charlotte and Duke Energy and Piedmont and maybe Virginia Tech. They're looking for teamwork, and we are the epitome of teamwork here. Policy. The United States hasn't had an energy policy in decades, if even then. and it's not going to happen. You know, bless them. If they had to debate National Peach Month right now, they wouldn't come to a decision. We can have an effect from the mayor to the state, and that's what we're going to do. Has anybody read Jim Clifton's book, The Coming Job Wars? I recommend it. He says in the next century, cities are the great incubators for how to get things done. And if you can start there, that percolates up to the state level, and we'll get adopted at the national level. And that's what we're going to do. And we're going to start doing that with a mayor's meeting on May 9th, an Energy 101 for mayors at Energy Inc., where we're looking across the Carolinas. And Mayor Fox here in Charlotte has already sent out the invitations across the Carolinas for these mayors to come in. And we're going to have our professionals teaching them. So we need to find the right policies going forward. The final one is workforce. And to my mind, that's the most critical. I'm going to put a few people on the spot here. We had the motorsports study that was done, and it was a very interesting study because the General Assembly gave us the money and told us the result they wanted us to come to. They said, we really want to build a test track. And the study came back and said, whatever you do, don't build a test track. Because it's the people who are here. They know how to turn left repeatedly very well. Okay? And they said, if your people are gone, our industry's gone. We're going to go to wherever the people are that know this industry. And so the result was we gave back some of the money, but UNC Charlotte got money for their engineering department in automotive and motorsports. And they're cranking out more students to the point that at UNC Charlotte, they've got one of the fastest growing colleges of engineering in the country right now. They're turning out really good people. And really good people who graduate from a college, 80% of them locate within 50 miles of their university. So we are building a young, talented workforce that's going to be in the Carolinas. Companies are going to need to come here to take advantage of that. One of the things we're also doing in the workforce is stepping outside the bounds of corporate development and pure university development. We have a Young Leaders Program, and I'm going to ask those who are in our Young Leaders Program to raise their hands. We've got a couple over here. Do we have? Okay, Clarence. These folks are going through a one-year intensive course. We're going to have 6 sessions during the year where they don't just sit in conference rooms. For our first session, we went under the Saluda Dam at Lake Murray, through the hydro power plant down at Lake Murray. They're going to be going out and they're going to see what things feel like, look like. They're going to be talking to the leaders, they're going to be talking to policymakers, reporters. We want them to get this firsthand. I'd like to say it's all altruistic, but it's selfish. There are a lot of people who are going to be retiring from this industry. And there are other states who really aren't preparing that next workforce like we are. We are aggressive on getting the highest potential people out there and learning from the people who are going to be passing from the scene. So the people who raise their hands here, they're the next 30 or 35 years of leadership. And we're doing this in volume. And that makes a difference in Charlotte. Because you're not just dealing with people at a job, you're dealing with people who have vision in the energy industry and know how to implement it. And implementing it is really key. I've dealt with a lot of nonprofits, and it's interesting. I can go to meetings and they'll talk about results, and they'll say, well, we had X number of meetings, and we put out X number of brochures. Those aren't results. Those are tools. There's no brochure shortage, there's no meeting shortage. There's a shortage of leaders, young leaders, and we're cranking them out. There's a shortage of really good curricula in energy engineering. And because of Johan, we've bridged that gap and we've brought that program up to where it needs to be so that more people are enrolling. We're putting out more graduates. We're attracting businesses. Arriva just relocated its headquarters to Charlotte. Babcock & Wilcox located its headquarters to Charlotte. Mitsubishi Nuclear Electric located its headquarters to Charlotte. One might be a one-off. More than that isn't. It's a trend. CEOs want to be with other CEOs and know where they can find the talent. This is the town that's doing that, and the Carolinas are doing it across the board just in workforce itself, as a high-quality workforce in the energy industry. More to the point, we haven't been to ourselves up to this point. Every day there are people getting off the plane at Charlotte Douglas Airport who have been doing energy work in Japan, Singapore, China, Qatar, Finland, Germany, UK, France, United Arab Emirates, and now we want to add South Africa. It's time.
We welcome you to partake in some wonderful information that we'd like to share with everyone regarding the growth of South Africa. And we have some wonderful people here with us today that's going to give you some great information that you can utilize, especially if you're a business and you would actually like to export overseas or import. And so I'm going to let them introduce themselves and then we'll get into some questions.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much for this opportunity. My name is Lebogang Mokoena, Lebo for short. I'm the consul representative for commercial relations between South Africa and the US, specifically the eastern seaboard in the US. So we're responsible between South African relations between the 14 states and the eastern seaboard.
And introduce yourself, please.
Good afternoon. My name is Mazwi Tuniswa. I work for the Industrial Development Corporation of South Africa as a board of maritime transportation and fabrication unit.
Okay, so basically what we're going to do is share data with you that you may utilize, again, if you are a business that wants to export or import, but the main emphasis that we're talking about today is exporting or using your intel, things that you're good at to help grow South Africa in general. So if you can, Lebo, just give us a summary of what you guys are looking for, what type of technologies and things of that nature.
Okay, I think Mazi will be better able to answer that question because he's more in tune to the specifics of what companies need to go for the renewable energy projects that we have in South Africa.
Great.
But what I can say is that the South African government at this point in time is focusing on 6 key sectors. And those sectors include renewable energy, mining, retail, manufacturing, tourism. Yes, I think that's all 6. Yes. So if you really want to invest in South Africa, those are the kind of industries that we need to be looking at. And there are a lot of government incentives as well into the specific industries, especially within the manufacturing industry, where there's opportunities for you to also transfer skills that you have to the South African population in South Africa.
I'm standing here with Rensha of Industrial Development Corporation, who has traveled many miles to be here today. We appreciate her very much, and we're going to give her some time to let you know why she's here and the opportunity that she is presenting to the citizens of the United States of America. Rensha?
Thanks for the opportunity. It's certainly a great pleasure to be here today. We as the IDC are proud to be associated with Charlotte, and also what we're doing here today is to try and encourage co-investment between the different countries, specifically looking at green industries and IPPs and renewable and the growth currently in South Africa. So what we're trying to do is to see how we can help companies to come to South Africa, participate in projects, also take advantage of the current program that our country are currently running in South Africa. In many cases, there are renewable energy opportunities, whether that's in solar or in wind. IDC are very proactive in trying to develop these projects, trying to encourage co-investment between different countries and bring in international companies who can assist us, not only the IDC, but also the country, in trying to develop new projects where we can learn from the international experience and roll that out effectively to support our energy situation currently in South Africa as part of the IPP and renewable drive in South Africa.
So I'm sure we have a number of American corporations and organizations and entities that would love to go into play with you guys and do business, especially in the green energy sector. How can they reach you?
It's quite easy at the moment. IDC is quite well known, especially in a number of countries. They can reach us on our website. That's probably the best way, www.idc.co.za, or they can contact our call center, which is Johannesburg 269-3000. It's also quite easy to download some of our brochures and to contact us directly or via our consulate, which is in New York.
Well, thank you for your time. We appreciate you traveling many miles to be here today.
Thanks.
Thank you.